I was getting booty and giving up booty.
Apologizing for shit. Say what I said. 700. All I see is C-notes, pistol in a Pico, feeling like Nino, pull up in a Regal.
What up, y'all? It's InkFaceTv, man. Today we're gonna go ahead and react to a clip from No Jumper. Your boy Adam22 interviewing Fleece Johnson. And y'all know Fleece Johnson, man, he got some crazy stories about all the time he done did in the penitentiary and all the wild things and accusations, alleged things that he done did. I ain't gonna say that they false, I ain't gonna say that they true. I'm just gonna say that they're alleged. But with that being said, man, let's get into this context. InkFaceTv, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
Damn. I got all this money in prison. I got stores, poker games. I got weed, whiskey. I'm blackmailing everybody. They bringing me everything in here. And so I'm satisfied that I ain't never gonna hit the streets no more.
He in there living lavish, y'all. He was in there getting it. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. If y'all don't, y'all don't.
You know, I just salted a gourd. I got 15 years. I took a 5-gallon bucket of boiling bleach and threw it in the gourd's face and put him in a hospital for 18 months. Burnt his whole
Damn.
face off. And so, for what he did to me. But, MSNBC came in and wanted me to do a documentary.
What year was that?
It was in the 80s.
Is that the documentary where he was talking about love and booty? Booty's more important than anything?
Okay.
90s?
I think it was the 90s. It seemed like it was pretty decent quality footage.
Yeah. But anyway, they came in an institution, and I'm like, I'll do it. I ain't never getting out, you know. I'm never getting out. And so I'm going to get up here and say whatever I want to say, right?
Now, a lot of people in that situation might kind of lie about what they have going on. Like, I feel like...
Yeah. You exaggerating a lot of shit, too.
Well, also, like...
I'm not going to tell them that the prison ain't like that right now. It was like that when I first entered the prison. But after I'm doing all that fighting and shit, I changed that prison.
But I'm just saying that a lot of people might sleep with other men while they're locked up and then get out and act like it never happened. I feel like that's the norm. You were the one dude who got an opportunity to...
Come on, Adam. You ain't never even been to prison. Stop it. Stop it. I have to disagree. Maybe back in the day, and I don't even think it was hidden. I think it was more just kept amongst, your peers. You know what I mean? Because that was just like a form of humiliating your enemies or whoever you had issues with, or I don't know, owed you something or something like that. They just ran up in you like that. That's more so back in his day, Fleece Johnson, you feel me? But nowadays, you don't just have dudes going in there sleeping with dudes, and I'm sure there's some. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna put it past them, but for the most part, the majority, I doubt it, especially gang members and stuff like that. Yeah, especially, I mean, and depending on the yard too. I know I'm rambling off a lot, but it just depends on the yard. You end up on the yard with a lot of them punks or whatever they want to call them. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you about that one. I ain't been there and I ain't going.
Do a documentary, be on TV, and you just said everything. You just laid it all.
Yeah. That's what we represent here at Hustler Spirit, man. It's the truth, man. We right here on my shirt, man. Stack of style, man.
That's a different type of hustler spirit, though.
Yeah, we got that spirit, man. We don't lie. And my agent, he talks to me and he tells me, look, man, these people want to hear the truth, man. Now, you don't have to tell them the truth if you don't want to. I said, man,
I do got to respect him for being honest and being truthful about his whole situation in the penitentiary. I mean, like they say, a lot of people probably would leave a lot of that out. I mean, But shit, he like, shit, I'm gonna put it out there.
Because, because
Can't help but respect that. You know what I mean? You can't, I mean, you can't agree with what he may have done or did or any accusations, but you gotta respect the fact that he was truthful about it, forward about it.
what I talk about, people don't talk about. But, now to get back to the gay stuff.
People are unbelievably fascinated by it, but they don't. There's very few people who are really going to talk about it, you know?
Yeah. And so, but I don't fear nobody. I don't fear people. I told somebody that said he got respect for me. I said, first of all, I don't need your respect. Your respect don't put food on my table, clothes on my back, or shoes on my feet.
It's a fact that a lot of people need to learn, man. People try to fit themselves into these boxes in order to meet everybody's criteria or what I might have said that wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. And and yeah, man. And I feel like as long as your kids or your family love you and respect you, then that's all that matters. If screw what everybody else thinks about you. I mean, look at me, prime example of it.
Man, you keep your respect for yourself. I don't need it. I've always stuck with that. So I don't care about what people say about me because I know everybody in this world has did some bad stuff. I ain't the only one. I'm not.
It depends on what you mean by bad, playboy. Because if you talking about some nigga, you ain't the only one, but nigga, you is a small circle. I don't
The
know
only one.
about
I'm the
that one.
only one that's get up and talk about it.
Mm.
But I'm not the only one that ever did something, that people disagree with. Now on sex, man, I had sex with a lot of men. That first time, I said I got to get more booty. I got to get as much booty as I can in her. This is all I got to go on. I'm never getting out.
Why couldn't it be something different? Like, why couldn't it be like, I'm about to get as many pen pals, I'm about to get as much money, I'm about to hustle, I'm about to. Why was your priority booty, man booty? Like, that is crazy. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. I just don't understand that. To be in there with a whole bunch of men and just be like, yeah, I'm about to get as much as they. Oh my, it's crazy.
I don't know what it will feel like to be with a woman. So I went hard, man.
But okay, so when did you start? And did you ever start taking it from men, or would you always break them down mentally until they would consent?
No, they was already broken down. Here's the point.
Okay, hold on. Now, see, this is where it's getting tricky for me. Now, we just spoke about how people be honest and say certain things, but now I'm starting to feel like you leaving certain stuff out. You in there all this time and you taking this and you taking that, and your whole motive was to get as much booty, but nobody ever got your booty. I don't know. I don't know. That's hard for me to believe, player.
I was getting booty and giving up booty.
That is hard for me to believe.
On. See, you think that I don't know where people get this notion that in the penitentiary, you got to take somebody's booty. Them people that moved a dude next to me, and he had a real nice big bucket ass. I said, boy, I gotta get some of that, but so I made sure I got a nice a nice little fat butt on me, and I was bending over. I said, I know he's gonna look. So he said, damn. When he looked over at me, he said, damn, that's fine. I said, you like it? He said, yeah. I said, all right. I said, let me put something. He said, no, let me keep looking. I said, you ain't let me see nothing. So when I looked over at him, he showed me his butt. I said, oh boy, I'm gonna get that. I gotta get that. Out of 20, I was in the prison held 2,500 inmates. Out of the 2,500, only 30 of them get regular visits every week. You can see them on a visit every week. Out of 2,500, only maybe 150 or 200 gets money from somebody from home. All the rest of them, they done burnt all their bridges. They ain't got nobody sending them nothing.
It'd be like that.
And then, next thing you know, they'll do anything for some noodles, cigarettes, weed. If you got weed, you can probably have sex with whoever in there. Yeah, a pack of cigarettes go for $500. So, easy.
So you're saying that there's just a lot of guys who are willing to have sex when you're in there. It's really not as crazy as we think it is, because in our minds.
So, nigga, what was you willing to do? I want to know that. Fuck that. Fuck all that. Fleece Johnson, you just said it there out your goddamn mouth. Pack of cigarettes for $500. You knew that. You had that down pat. You probably smoked cigarettes. Hmm. What was you willing to do for the Zuzus and women? All right, let me stop.
A straight man is just never gonna consent to having sex with another dude. You're saying that in that environment, it's not that crazy.
No, See, it's you got people like one guy owed me, and I said, well, how you gonna pay me, bro? He smacked his ass cheeks. He said, with this. I said, with what? I said,
Nigga, what you mean with what? Nigga, you just said he smacked his. Oh, come on, man. What you talking about, man? You know exactly what he talking about. And he felt comfortable enough to tell you that. This is crazy. This is crazy.
turn around, let me see it. And I said,
Hold on.
I said,
Hold
turn
on.
around, let me see it. He said, with this. I said, with what? I said, turn around, let me see it. And I said, pull the chest down a little.
Oh my God.
I said, spread it open.
Oh my God.
I said, yeah. I said, I got played off like I'm used. I said, boy, he had a hell of a ass on him though. It was powerful. And
that nigga said powerful. Like Power Rangers. Oh, damn. Damn. That is crazy. This is why y'all don't want to go to prison, y'all. Stay out of jail, man. Stay out of trouble. All you youngsters out here, listen to this. That is crazy. Man, oh my God. That's what we said. Spread it open. Yeah.
I said, look, man, I get this anytime I want it, cause I got money and stuff. I said, but yeah, I said, we can work something out. And that's how I do it. You know, and I seen, if I really want somebody, what I do, man, is introduce myself to him, let him know I got all the money. I'm the one with the weed and the whiskey and all this stuff, and I'm the one that get things popping. You know, if you want to roll with me, you know, holler at me, right? I'm seeing you, you know, I think you look good, you know, and whatever we do, I'm going to keep it discreet. You know, you don't have to worry about nobody in your business. You can keep your mustache or whatever. You know, I just want your booty, man.
Y'all heard it from Fleece Johnson, man. That man crazy. Then that man, I don't even know what to say about that one. That man is out of this world for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, stay out of prison, man, for sure. Stay out of jail, cause this nigga crazy. Y'all don't want to run into a nigga like him. That is scary. Straight up. That nigga said spread it. Oh my God. Oh my God. And if you do land up in there, stay to yourself. If you see a nigga who got all the money and all the zuzus, the wham whams and the coffees and the liquors and the weed and the whatever, stay far away from him, obviously. Cause damn, he done told the game. Man, this ain't Face TV, man. It's much love. I'll catch you on the next one. With that being said, I'm gone. Yeah.
Top 10, don't let them trick you out your spot, boo. Fell in love with the hundreds, fell in love with the Ben Frankens. Fell in love with the money, fell in love with the blue faces. Fell in love with my birthday, wish you brought me the cake. I think I have an addiction, that's daily at the bank. Fell in love with the hundreds, fell in love with the Ben Frankens. Fell in love with the money, fell in love with the blue faces. Fell in love with my birthday, wish you brought me the cake. I think I have an addiction, that's daily at the bank.